All right, well, basketball was played today. Good basketball, competitive basketball, most certainly not. We had two games, both ended up being blowouts. I'm just going to go over them pretty quickly here. Not going to take up too much time because there's not much to talk about in both games. I think there's an overarching theme to talk about tonight, and that is the Brooklyn Nets, who dominate. I mean, just absolutely destroy the Bucks in Game 2 to take a 2-0 series lead. And it's funny how quickly things can change in the postseason, because even after Game 1, I was holding strong in my belief that I thought the Bucks were going to win this series in 7. And this was my prediction going into Game 1, and I left it exactly the same. I didn't touch it.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Going to go ahead and update my predictions. That's 99.9%. This is the only reason I'm giving the Bucks any chance is if Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving both decide they want to retire from the sport of basketball before this series ends. It just is. They're getting just destroyed. They're getting destroyed. Giannis had a rough go of it tonight, especially by his own standards. I mean, especially the standards that he's held to as a superstar of this team and the person who's supposed to will them to victory. He did not play well tonight. And I also thought Chris Middleton was garbage tonight. I mean, he figured it out a little bit in the second half, but by that point, the game was already over. Like, this game was, by all intents and purposes, over like halfway through the second quarter. Like, it was an absolute beatdown. Halfway through the second quarter, the game was pretty much over. And Chris Middleton figured it out a little bit in the early third quarter, but it was just another bad showing from him. I thought Drew played okay. I mean, I can't really sit and think about who played good on this Bucks team. I like the aggressiveness from Bryn Forbes. I guess that's really all I can say. Like, other than that, I don't think too many people played all that great. And for the Nets, we're all playing for second place. Everybody left in the postseason is playing for second place. Like, it's just that simple. This team's going to win the finals. Again, unless Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving decide, you know what, we don't have anything to prove. We're just going to retire. Like, this is just too boring for us. Because James Harden's not even fucking playing. And they're destroying championship contenders like this. It's not even KD with the most effortless 32 you'll ever see. A most effortless 32. Kyrie had 22, but they had production up and down their lineup. Blake Griffin deserves to be in a federal penitentiary for what he did to this league and for what he did to the Detroit Pistons. Like, you look at his stats, 7 points. Yeah, there's nothing great about that. But I thought Blake Griffin was phenomenal tonight. The defense that he played on Giannis. Where did that come from? Where was that? Where did that come from? You just got production up and down. It's just, this team is stupid. This team is stupid, and I have egg on my face for thinking the Bucks could win this game, to win this series, and to think that anybody else had a chance against this Nets team. We see it now. It's clear. It's clear. Can the Bucks win a game or two at home? Sure. Or can they win the series? No. All right, let's move on to the next game. Nuggets and Suns. This game was a blowout, too, the final score. But the game is a lot more competitive, right? Going into the second half, it was a back-and-forth, fun and exciting game. But I think this game right here is a microcosm of what I think will happen over the course of the entire series and why the Nuggets they just don't have enough, right? Given their injuries, given what they're asking their starting players to do, and more specifically Jokic to do over the course of a 7-game series, 40-plus minutes a night, it's just not sustainable. You know what I mean? It's not sustainable. They're just injured, and they're going up against just a really, really good and hot Suns team. When this Suns team gets going, it's like they just pour it on you. It's like it never ends. And that's what we saw tonight, that they're feeding off their crowd's energy. The Nuggets went into halftime and then came out in the third quarter, had a huge run to start the third quarter. It looked like the Suns could maybe be in a little bit of trouble, but then they took a timeout, and from that point forward, the Suns just completely dominated. They completely dominated the rest of this game. They had Campaign lob that oop up to Torrey Craig, and from that point forward, it was like, okay, the Suns are taking care of business here, and they did. It was a dominant game from them, and up and down their entire rotation. I thought Deandre Ayton played great. I thought he did fantastic against Jokic tonight. Chris Paul really was not having the best of games until like the mid-third quarter, where he was like, okay, it's time for me to turn into point guard and completely put this game away, and he completely took the game over. It was honestly kind of remarkable watching. Like, he every possession, like Chris Paul either scored or assisted for like a 15 possession stretch when the Suns completely put the game away. Devin Booker, I don't even think Devin Booker played all that great tonight. He was turning the ball over like mad in the first half, and then in the fourth quarter, when the game was kind of already out of reach, he put the finishing touches on it and had a really nice stretch there towards the end of the game. And I thought Mikal Bridges was absolutely fantastic. Jay Crowder gave you some energy and some big shots, big 4-point play when it kind of felt like momentum might be slipping for the Suns early on. He had that big 4-point play. Craig off the bench, I thought played great. One of his best games, I think, as a Sun. Did campaign things like up and down. They just got huge production. And I'm excited about this Suns team, man. I do think that they'll take care of business in this series relatively easily. Again, it's just, I don't know if the Nuggets have enough. And what we saw in this game, I think, is just going to, it's a perfect representation of what I think we'll see over the course of the series, where the Nuggets they just don't have enough to keep up, right? They might win a game here or there, but they just don't have enough over the course of 7 games to keep up with the Suns team right now. They just don't. So overall, kind of a boring night of games. I'm going to be real with you. At one point in that Nets game, I was commentating a hockey game. I don't even know hockey going on here in Boston because they have fucking 40 shots compared to 19. Or does the Boston goalie just suck ass? Oh! No, what happened here? It's a goal! The Bruins! Wow! So we got 2 games tomorrow, Suns and Sixers game 2. Obviously a big game for the Sixers. They need to win that one. And we have Clippers and Jazz game 2. Or game 1, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say anything about that Clippers and Jazz series because I feel like I'm a curse. So every time I say a series is going to be good, it ends up being horse shit. So I'm not going to say anything about that Clippers Jazz. It's just going to be a basketball game. It's just going to be a series of basketball games, and we might get 7 of them. That's all I'm going to say, okay? I will see you guys tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Thank you guys for coming out tonight to the stream. If you did, I really do appreciate it. Goodbye.